Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm living the dream, man. I'm living the dream. Had a great time last night. It was really fun to be out with just you and Jake and get a chance to just sit the three of us, and then got to hang out with our people over at Weston Jewelers at the Hard Rock, and that was a blast.
You would think that we get to do that more often, but we really don't get all three of us together. Life and babies and all kinds of stuff get in the way. So I am with you. It was super fun, and then getting to visit our man Head Dykes. We're on the way over, and we just start talking about. There he is. There's Ed. We start talking about him, and unanimously we all said he's the nicest human being on the planet.
Just the best human on the planet. Like, it's impossible to be around Ed and not feel good, right? Like
a very calming kind of
warm. He's a warm man, It just, it makes you feel endeared, and he's just great. And we love the work we do with them.
Great to be there last night to celebrate what took place a long time ago, the grand opening of that store. But craziness. It
was nice to be able to celebrate that store and the Hublot store. I had never been actually in the Hublot, even though I've been there a few times, and the watches in there.
Well, the original design of the Hublot store, we were in there, and when we went, the store was kind of blocked behind like a wall. And I said to him, I go, you can't really see that it's a Hublot store. You see the sign, you see whatever. So he said, I'm going to have it fixed. And sure enough, last night you walk by and, in true fashion, the food, the drink, the people,
stories to me though, we got to hang out with some great people, and anytime you get the old stories rolling in that kind of setting, it's a blast for me.
Yeah, there was some old Weston people, that I hadn't seen in a while. So really, really, really fun stuff. As a matter of fact, Laura Sherwin, your ears must have been burning, because I ran into my friend Jeff Klugerman and his wife Michelle, and they were in the employee benefits business. They sold their business, and now she works with Marsh and McLennan. So just amazing, good stuff. Here's the thing, when you're around good people, good things happen. So
amen to that one.
Congratulations to Eddie and the whole Weston Jewelers family, Jesse, Danny, Tracy, you guys are all amazing. Cannot move forward today without recognizing the fact that it is Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
And every single thing that we have that we all take for granted, don't take it for granted. Somebody stood up in the line of fire to
sure. Veterans for sure that are in this crew. Chris White, Hayden. I'm not sure if Scott was, but I know Scott talks about the military a lot. But for sure, thank you to Chris and thank you to Hayden.
McGregor or
no, Oglesby.
Oh, okay. Because McGregor was, so
correct.
Chris White, these people that, and it was shame on us. Yesterday was National Marines Day, or the birthday.
No, it was the birthday of the Marines, I think.
Birthday of the Marines. So there was a lot of Semper Fi kind of shit going on around.
For sure.
Really, really cool stuff. We are supposed to have a guest this morning. He is having technical difficulties. If he shows, great. If not, we will move on. Let's get to some wake up music, and we will jump into some unbelievable content with a guy named Jeff Saturday.
Wake up, everybody. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up. Come on. Wake up, everybody. Teach a new way. Maybe this not listen what you have say, wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more doctor thinking, time of thinking ahead. Come on.
So I don't know, like Hayden said, lots of crayons and alcohol was consumed. What
I
is
don't get it. I don't know what that means. I don't know.
what
I
did
don't
you
get the crayons part.
take acid or something? Like, woo, doodling around. Like, I don't get it, man.
So even though Akin's not here, we should probably still talk about Monday night's event and the
Well, here's what we'll
night
do.
out, right?
We'll hope he gets his shit together. If he doesn't, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. So we'll
Great.
jump into today is a football Friday. Lots of stuff going on. You posted about it this morning about getting fired, and
So I posted about my career in football and how many times I was fired and the reasons I got fired. But I wrote that because of all of the layoffs that are happening. Like, obviously, you've seen Twitter. I think they got rid of 3,000 people. Meta got rid of a ridiculous number. I think it was like 11,000 people. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the crypto world, but FTX completely folded. So all of those employees are out. And it just reminded me of what it was like to sit in the seat and be sitting with the athletic director or sitting with the head coach or getting the call on the phone and knowing that you were out and you were going to have to figure out a way to create the next opportunity and continue to move forward. And it sucks. There's no way around it. It's not fun, but you find a way to deal with it. And I did it enough times that I feel like I created a pretty good roadmap for it.
I think so. So I want to talk about one particular scenario. The Colts fired their head coach and wound up hiring a guy who's never coached before. Was a great player for them.
Right. So let's be fair to Jeff Saturday, right? Like, he's probably one of the best. No, he is one of the best centers to ever play the game. He may be the best center to ever play the game. Played with some of the greatest people in the history of the NFL, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison. So he's got pedigree in the sport. He's just never coached. What'd you say? So anyway, we'll continue with the conversation of Jeff Saturday, because what has happened is Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, decided to fire the current head coach and hire Jeff Saturday out of a broadcast job, out of being an announcer and being somebody who's responsible for critiquing the game as it goes. And so they fired Frank Wright. They brought in Jeff Saturday, and Jeff Saturday had an unbelievable press conference, because what the blowback was like, what are the Colts doing? They're hiring a guy that's never had any kind of coaching experience in his career. How could they ever, make this kind of move? Jim Irsay's off his rocker. And
which on a separate note, Jim Irsay's off his rocker.
Off his rocker, sure. Like, he's battled with plenty of addiction and has lots of his own problems.
So I actually have two clips of, and what I want to do, because as we do here on the show all the time, I want you to pull the nuggets out.
Yeah.
Each of the comments. So give me the first. Like this, he answered, "Why am I here?"
Because I care. Right. And I told the guys this morning, I care about the players. I care about their families. I've sat in their seat, man. This sucks. Right. I like Frank. I've talked to Frank. We've texted. I love Frank, man. I was working with Frank, right? So I'm working with him every week, talking to him. I consider Frank a friend, and I love him. I think he's a heck of a football coach. I got no control over how that. So I understand from their perspective. I've sat in that seat. They love Frank, man. That's their coach. I mean, they played for this dude. So I don't minimize that at all. I care about the staff and their families. These guys work hard. They sacrifice for their families. They sacrifice time, energy, and effort. Like, I know equipment room, man. I know media relations. I know training room. Like, you guys act like these are my people, bro. Like, my adult life was forged here, right? Like, my wife and I we raised our kids here. Like, these people matter to me. This organization matters to me, right? The people in the community matter to me. I mean, everybody thinks this is like flippant. This is not. Like, I care whatever I can do. And when he said, hey, can you help me? Absolutely, I help. If somebody called and said, hey, this is an opportunity to say, for the people who are in this room and in this building, would you do it? Absolutely, I'm going to do it, right? And I had to make sure my wife was on board. She and I talked about it, prayed about it. I called him back and I said, let's do it, right?
So I don't care what his experience is. You got a guy who knows the entire organization inside and out and is passionate about the people. I don't care whether he can call plays or not. He's going to find a way to make them somewhat successful.
Passion is contagious. When you are building culture, when you are talking about leading a team, he comes in there with history, with, understanding, with credibility. I mean, the guy was the best center ever,
And if you, to give context to, the rest of that interview, he's not coming in with the history of, oh, well, I know the way it was done and we're going to do it the way it's always been done. No, he's coming in with the idea of, look, I'm open to influence from everybody here, but I know everybody here and I know what success looks like. And I believe I can help us get there. It's a way different conversation.
So he used two words that just ring out to me. Number one is, I care. I care. Yeah. I give a shit. Yeah. Like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah. I wanted to hug him. I said, yeah, man, that's a dude to follow, right? Yeah. And then these people matter to me.
Yep.
It matters. It all matters, And so, when he said, you guys can talk all flippant, like, oh, he doesn't have this. You don't know my heart.
Right.
You don't know what's in my heart. Right. And if you find out what's in people's heart, those are the people I want in the bunker next to me.
I'll build an organization of all of those kinds of people who you can figure out what's in their heart. You know what's in their heart. You know that it's in the right place. You'll win with that. You'll win with that a lot of times.
Here's Jeff Saturday on being a leader. Oh.
And I'm not, but I can assure you that's going to be handled. That from the organization's perspective, from my perspective as a man, like I'm good. And here's the deal. Everybody talks about I'm completely comfortable in who I am as a man, bro. I know I can lead men. I know the game of football and I'm passionate about it. I have no fear about, are you as qualified as somebody else, bro? I spent 14 years in a locker room. I went to the playoffs 12 times. I got 5 dudes in the Hall of Fame that I play with. You don't think I've seen greatness? You don't think I've seen how people prepare, how they coach, how they GM, how they work? I mean, won Super Bowls, been to 2. Like, here's the deal, man. None of us are promised a good job. I may be terrible at this. And after 8 games, I'll say, God bless you. I am no good. I may be really good at it. I got no idea. But I dang sure ain't going to back down. I can tell you that. I mean, listen, if life ain't an adventure, it ain't for nothing. It ain't for me.
So, Mark, I want you to close your eyes and imagine this guy addressing the team after they have sucked. I mean, whatever went wrong there, it went wrong.
Yeah.
Right? And then this guy stands up and says, dude, I've been in the locker room with 5 Hall of Famers. You don't think I know what greatness looks like?
I've been to the playoff for 12 years. I've seen people coach. I've seen people prepare. I know what it looks like. And I'm not going to back down. Like, that to me is, he'll make mistakes. There'll be things that he runs into. But you got a guy that is going to give his all to being successful in that role. And, there's a lot of controversy about, like, the Rooney Rule and hiring practices. Look, he spoke to that. This is an 8-game interview. He's getting the opportunity to interview to maybe get the job after. They're still going to do a search. They're still going to do all the things that they're supposed to do. But this guy got an opportunity and said, I'm not going to back down from the opportunity. I'm on board for this thing. And if I'm on board, you better believe we're going to do everything we can to be successful. He told a story about the guy that he named as the offensive coordinator, who is a very young coach, who's never had any play calling experience. But he talked about when he made that announcement in the room to the guys, and Reggie Wayne, the receivers coach, slapped the table and started going crazy and was like, let's go. They're fired up about it. So it's cool to see.
I mean, so are you a Jeff Saturday fan?
Oh, yeah. Like,
do you root for the Colts from now until the end of the year?
No, because I'm rooting for the Dolphins. But yeah, But yes, I will be rooting for the Colts to be successful, assuming that it does not hurt the Dolphins' chances at getting into the playoffs and anything else.
So, Kevin Jean, puts her, you can't gain the respect of people, if you're not in it. Like, so what is the case study? What does it look like when leaders in business look someone in the face and say, you matter to me?
So let me just show you. I'll show you another case study that's happening right now, right here in Miami. Right? This guy right here, Miami Mike. I mean, you want to talk about changing a culture. People were ready to throw Tua out. They were ready to say Tua can never play quarterback in the NFL. The guy's the leading quarterback in the league, and he's got the number one receiver in the league. And you look at the way he coaches these guys, and the number one thing that I heard Tua say about him was, we found out who he was when we lost our first game. He goes, when he came into the locker room, and he was the same guy after a loss as after a win, and he was the same guy that we had seen from the time that he got there. He goes, we knew we had a real one, and we had a guy that we could be comfortable with, that we could trust. And that changed the trajectory of this football team. So when you look at Jeff Saturday, you're telling me those guys don't feel comfortable with him? Those guys aren't going to feel like, okay, I can trust this guy and believe in what he's trying to do with us, and we'll follow? It's a case. It's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, so like what's nuts is that I think part of what's wrong with football is that the players don't care. These guys are there for a year or two, free agent, gone, and played for 5 or 6 teams. That didn't happen when Jeff Saturday played. So he had the opportunity to have a long career in the same place. He brings that mentality to young guys. Like, if the head coach cares, that could make me care.
But I do, like, as looking at an entire organization, not everybody has to have the passion that he has for it, right? There are a lot of professionals who are very good at their job that aren't overly passionate about doing their job. There's a lot of left guards in the league that are really good at playing left guard, but aren't Jeff Saturday. They don't take that passion every day. So you got to find the people that you're not willing to tolerate, the ones that won't be professionals, the ones that won't meet the standard, and the guys that have that passion, that are willing to step in front of the group and lead like Jeff. And it's going to be just something fun to watch.
So I loved being part of that. I mean, that's one of the things that sports does for me, is it just leaves these unbelievable, gigantic lessons and nuggets that if you pay attention, it's still all about the people, man. So I know.
And not backing down, right? Like, listening to him go, this is an opportunity. And I don't know what, like, it could be after 8 games, I could suck. I could be so bad, and I will tip my hat and say, guys, I was no good at this, and I'm okay with that. So for it to be, for you to hear him say, I see the opportunity and I'm not afraid to fail at the opportunity. Forget about being good. I'm not afraid to fail at it. That to me is the nugget of the day, which you get offered an opportunity and you don't jump at it because you're afraid of failing. Who knows what could have happened?
Unbelievable. I got some motivational music that talks about the power of giving. And then we're going to talk about our event coming up Monday night, which I'm super excited about.
Wake up, kid, we got the dreamer's disease. Age 14, they got you down on your knees. So polite, we're busy still saying please. Enemies, but when you're down ain't your friend. Every night I smash a Mercedes Benz. First we run and then we laugh till we cry. But when the
So there's a big lesson here. You get what you give, and we're all about giving and persistence. I'm super excited to welcome my friend, I think, Akin Ayodele is here.
Akin made it. Let's go.
Guys, listen, I apologize. I've been here since 7:55, and I was on my laptop, and it's Friday. So it's one of those days. They ain't acting right. So, but I'm here.
You're here, and you stayed on it. You stayed. I kept seeing you checking it in. It was like, so welcome to the Daily Huddle. We have an audience of like-minded people who join us every morning to get motivated, inspired, talk about business and sports. Tell the audience who you are. We know who you are, but tell the audience who Akin Ayodele is.
Thank you. So yes, first of all, great conversation. I heard it all. I can't wait to chime in a little bit. I have my own take on it. Again, Akin Ayodele. I'm the area president for Gallagher. For those who don't know what Gallagher organization is, Gallagher is in the top 3 insurance brokerage company in the world. I've taken over a territory that covers Palm Beach County, Broward County, and Miami-Dade. With my team and I, we're just looking to really build relationships and be problem solvers, right? Bring solutions to organizations and help them in this space when it comes to insurance, employee benefits, and PNC. So in that sense, we're
whoa. Tell the fun stuff, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to know other stuff? You want to know
gives a shit what you do? What did you do?
Oh, okay. I can also dive into areas of my past. So this is like Act 3. Well, in Act 1, yes, I played a decade in the National Football League. So I got a chance to play against the Jeff Saturdays and the Peyton Mannings. Actually, I got drafted in 2002 by the Jacksonville Jaguars. So the Colts were in our division. So I got to see them twice every year, which were fun matches. Then I played 4 years in Jacksonville, went over to Dallas, played for the Cowboys, where I'm actually from. I grew up right there in Irving, Texas. Got to play for my home team, played 3 years there. And then, lo and behold, Tony Sperano and Bill Parcells traded for me from Dallas to Miami. So, I had a place in Miami. I knew all about the Dolphins. And how fortunate was I to have an opportunity to come back to Miami in a way that it actually became my home. And one of the best memories in my career of coming to a team that struggled the previous year, I think it might have been 1-15 or 2-14, whatever, and turning around, winning the division, going to the playoffs, and building a solid team for the years to come. I think, God has a way of playing jokes on you. I played in my last season. God said, listen, you've had a great stench in the South. You played in Jacksonville. You played in Dallas. You played in Miami. I think I need to cool you off a little bit. And he sent me to Buffalo, New York. Of all places. And I played my last season in Buffalo. But, fortunate to play. Quick story, and I'll tell you this quick story. My rookie year, my first game of my rookie year, Coach Tom Coughlin, they told me, they said, listen, rookie, you're going to play. I don't know how many plays, but you're going to play on defense, so be ready. And guys, I was juiced up. I was ready. I was excited. I was standing, following coach and my linebacker coach. I was on their heels trying to get in. I did not play one down that game. It was against the Colts. I didn't play one down. I played special teams, but I didn't play one down of defense. Second game, coach didn't say anything to me the entire week. Second game comes around, I'm thinking it's probably going to be the same thing, just play special team. National anthem
I
goes.
tell you, you hurt my heart. You hurt my heart every time you say that. Like, just playing special teams. You're talking to a special team coordinator.
I don't mean to minimize special team play, but you have expectations, right? And so second game comes around. We're playing in Kansas City, and national anthem goes. It ends, and guys are ready to get out on the field. Tom Coughlin turns around, smacks me on my backside, and says, "Get in the game. You're starting." That's how I started my career, going from 0 to 100, and
Stay
like
ready
life.
so you don't have to get ready,
You
right?
gotta stay ready. That's the point. You gotta stay ready at any time opportunities come, and you have to make sure that you're ready to get in the game and play and be that person that they can count on. So I appreciate this time.
Did you happen to play with Mike Peterson when you were in Jacksonville?
Yes, that was
Coach Mike P. That is my guy.
We call that was my OG.
Yeah, no doubt. You can tell Mike Peterson that I beat his rear end in spades week after week after week when I was at the University of Florida. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. We actually have a call next week, so I will tell him that.
Tell him Coach Noodle said I still own him in spades.
So I want to make sure we're efficient here. You made the transfer from football to business. You took a lot of those principles. And then you and I had the opportunity we got introduced through one of your career opportunities. And then you said it was important to you to get involved in the community, hence your involvement in JA. So kind of give us a little bit of that story and then get us to what's happening Monday night.
Absolutely. So one of the things that, I know that's important, it's always been part of my life, is community involvement. In that transition of moving back to Florida, I've always had a stay and a commitment to be involved in the community. In my transition into the insurance space, you and I got connected, and in that, somebody that we're very familiar with, Lori Salarulo, one of the organizations that her organization as being president and CEO, I knew that one was a key stakeholder for the community that have done a great job when it comes to financial literacy, work readiness, commitment to helping students think differently and manage their thoughts and their business and their entrepreneurial journey. So I knew that was an organization that I really wanted to be a part of. In that, I committed myself also to joining Junior Achievement of South Florida. You and I and some other folks, Chaz and David Greenberg, are on the committee where we are honoring the mayor of Florida, Michael Udine, and also giving out scholarships to several Broward County students. But I think the exciting part too is that we're celebrating Monday night, celebrating and honoring the man of the year, the mayor of Fort Lauderdale, Mike Udine, and the students, and Channing Crowder, who, if all of you are involved and listen to the Pivot, you know how he's really an important interviewer and funny guy of the show. He's
Hilarious.
Also going to join us that night, and many of the business communities. So it's going to be a well-rounded night of fun, watching football, honoring some important folks, interviewing some funny and exciting former football players, and having a lot of the business community that will be involved.
So I'll tell you how life works. I invited Akin last year. He was speaking in Philadelphia. I'm driving. It's a torrential rainstorm driving over there. And he buzzes my cell and he goes, dude, I haven't even left Philly yet, man. I've been on the runway for like 6 hours. I was like, I'm never going to make it. I was like, what a bummer, man. We had such a great night. So this will be his inaugural launch at the event. He just had so much fun, polish. As you can tell, he's so amenable to conversation and sharing. He's so people oriented. So come out, join us if you haven't bought a ticket. If you want to buy a table, if you want to get involved in the auction, it is really one of the most fun nights. Mark, you remember last year.
Last year was fantastic. And to me, the feedback from everybody else, like as I asked people, hey, are you going to, Uno this year? Oh yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't miss it. It was the best event last year. So excited to create the 2.0 version of it and have a great time. And
here's why. Being on the committee, helping steer this idea to realization. I don't like going to events where it's like all program. They're just bullshitting on stage. We have a 45-minute program. The rest is mixing, mingling, drinking. We'll hear
conversations, baby.
It's real conversation. So come out, have a good time. Akin, I'm excited. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for staying with it.
Yeah.
Man. We'll have you back on the huddle again where you could spend the whole
More
half hour.
football conversation.
Good. I missed it. I apologize, but you know what? I've never given up, and I hope to be back. Please invite me.
Let's go.
See you Monday night.
Let's
All
get
right,
down to
see you guys
business.
Monday.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to